This is going to be Softtouch Introduction Part 2. In this section we're going to cover what we call the dining function buttons, which are along the bottom here. You can also click this arrow to access any other ones that are on the bottom. What these buttons will do, and we'll go individually here, there's a new order button. Rather than clicking on a seat or a table, you can just create an order by clicking on New Order. It's going to ask you to put a name on the check. I'm going to put Tim. Once I know how many guests are there, I'm going to put 1. Bringing a drink. That. Now I'm going to click Send down here on the bottom to send this check. What you'll notice is that we don't have a Tim on any of these tables or assigned anywhere. Really what you're creating when you click on that New Order button is what we call a floating order. And to access those, you're going to click on Dining Orders here. You'll notice now that that's who rang the ticket up, the server name, and the name that we gave the check. So we can just click on that order to access it again. If we wanted to add to this order, we can go ahead and just ring anything back up on this. Click Send to send that new item to the kitchen. If we were to want to move this order from under Dining Orders or Floating, you have this button here that's called Float to Seating. We're going to click on that. Pretty much brings up the same screen as Dining Orders does. We're going to go ahead and select our order that we created. Now it says to select the seat or table that we want them to go to. I'm going to put them on table 4 just by clicking on it. Now you'll notice that you see, Tim's there, and it's been there for a minute. Now we can click on that table to access it. Just going to go ahead and hit Send to go back. Another button that you're going to notice here is Seating to Seating. That's pretty much what it says it is here. We're going to click on it, and we're going to move Tim by clicking on it here, and we're going to move him over here to 107. It's easy as that. New table order. What that allows you to do is to create a new check on a table or seat that already has a check assigned to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Click on Tim's table. Make it 1 guest. And send it to the kitchen. You'll notice here that now you have a couple different lines that are across this seat. What that means is that you have multiple checks on that table. There's 2 different ways that's displayed. You'll also notice up here in yellow that you have 2. That's a table, and that means there's 2 checks on the table. So lines on a seat mean there's 2 checks or multiple checks, and here as well. Our next button is going to be Print Check. We're going to click on that. It's going to ask us what table do we want to print it from. Click here. Because we have multiple checks, it's going to display it. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this one. At that point it would have printed out the check on your receipt printer for you to be able to present to the table. We're going to do that as well again for the other one that's on the table here. When you do that, you'll notice now that it's green. That means the check has been printed, and that here in the near future this table should be available. The View Hide check button, this will allow us to take an expanded look at the check. Click on that and it's going to ask us which table or seat would we like to view. Click on it here, it's going to show you a couple bits of information here. How long it's been occupied for, when the check was opened up, who created the check, how many people are at the table, the check number, which can be important. Close out of this window, click Close Window right here. Next button we're going to deal with is going to be Combine Orders. Click on that. What that's going to allow us to do is to combine two separate orders. I'm going to click on this table, and if need be you can click on this window to close it because I've got a table behind it and this table. So now we've got both of those check numbers on there. We're going to click complete combine. You can see you've got the two checks here. You can combine all right here, moves everything to one check, and hit send. Ask if you're sure you want to combine them. Yes. And now we have both of those on one check here, which we can come down here to cash out, tender the $20, and hit OK. Another button that we have here is combine a single table. If we select that, as you notice here, there's two checks on this one table. So we're going to go ahead and click that. We can click combine all. You can also select by seat or even just by item by clicking and then clicking the other check and it'll move it. So combine all would move everything at once, or you could move it in one item at a time. So if you click over here, it'll move it. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. Are you sure you want to combine these checks? Yes. Now it's all on one check. You'll notice this down arrow here in the bottom right hand side gives you three other buttons down here. Customer and loyalty will be another section that we'll cover. Switch view would be for if you had different layouts for, say, like a patio or other areas that you may want to switch to. And refresh layout is not typically used.